Hey y'all, welcome to another week of Coffee and Composition. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, I'm April Sojourner Truth Walker, president of A Little More Truth LLC, and this is our series to take the woes out of your next writing assignment. And we are nearing the end of our spring series on paragraphs, so we only have this week and one more segment to go, and then we'll be done with paragraphs, and hopefully you will feel like you are building some super strong paragraphs out there. So this week we're going to be talking about how do I organize everything that goes in my paragraphs. I have a lot of thoughts, I've done a lot of research, I've done all the reading that my teacher has given me, but I don't know what goes in this paragraph and what I should put in that one, and is this one too long if it's 2 pages long? How do I organize everything in my paragraph? So that's what we're going to be talking about this week. So as always, we're going to grab our coffees and we will get started. All right, so we've kind of gone into the more nitty-gritty technical stuff of building a paragraph. Now we're going to really focus on the more stylistic elements of your paragraphs. So this week we're talking about how to organize your paragraphs. But as always, before we jump in, if you feel like you need more help for you, your student, or a friend, visit us at alittlemoretruthllc.com and see which of our writing coaching packages may be right for you. So the question this week is, when should I start a new paragraph? Answer: you should start a new paragraph whenever you are moving to a new idea. So that may seem a little vague and a little ambiguous, but it's really, again, going into the style of writing, not so much the technical hard rules. This is when you start a new paragraph. So it's going to take a little bit of finesse and a little bit of practice on your part to know, hey, I'm moving to a new idea. This may be a good time for me to start a new paragraph. What I see as students' most common challenge in this area is trying to include all their subpoints in the same paragraph with the main point. So just because you have 2 to 3 subpoints that you're trying to make about one big point, it doesn't mean you have to put all of them in one paragraph that takes up a page. It's really going to undercut the strength of your writing if you do that. So some things to remember. Not every paragraph has to be the same length. So there is no hard and fast 5 sentences for every paragraph rule. It's okay to break up a main paragraph into multiple supporting points in separate paragraphs. That's completely okay, and again, it strengthens your writing rather than weakens it. And then finally, a paragraph that includes too much information is just as damaging to your writing as one that doesn't include enough information. So just remember that. Just because you're putting it all in one paragraph doesn't mean you're writing a stronger essay. So we're going to look at this paragraph that is a big boy, like this is a chunky one, but we're going to look at it and you're going to see when I'm suggesting that the student start a new paragraph. All right. The use of vocabulary is also a very important rhetorical tool used in this story to support the writer's claims. Woolf uses a variety of words whose meanings are not simple and straightforward to draw her reader's attention. Such words help to spice the writing and make it more captivating and interesting. As written in one line of the story, she says he has to induce himself in a state of perpetual lethargy. The word perpetual lethargy here refers to a state of complete lack of energy and enthusiasm, a state of utmost quietness and unconsciousness, and at these points, the mind is like a pool of ideas and the imaginary picture that he is trying to create will be clearer. We just covered a lot of ground in that first part of that paragraph. So here is where the student should start a new paragraph, because as you'll see in the next sentence, they're starting a new idea. An illusion is something that appears to be there, but is actually not there. She uses this to get her readers to create and imagine, to draw pictures in their heads of what she is trying to explain, so that they can get a clearer and better understanding of what she is saying. Now, that is a new paragraph, and it may seem like a super short paragraph compared to the one that came before it, because it's only 2 sentences, but it doesn't fit with everything else the student is saying in the sentences preceding that new paragraph that I'm suggesting. So the student probably could add another sentence or 2 to make this short paragraph stronger and talk about illusions a little bit more, maybe give an example, but they don't have to, again, try to make it the same length as the paragraph that preceded it. So then finally, the student can start a new paragraph here. This short story is a speech, but a vivid look at it brings it out more like a talk between the writer and her audience. She doesn't target a specific audience. People of all ages and sex are targeted in this story. She lets her audience play a role in the story, lets an application of her message in everyone's mind, and lets them share in her experience. So again, We have moved into a new terrain, and this is a whole nother paragraph, probably even 2 paragraphs that the student could have here. So how the student wrote it, this whole chunk was 1 paragraph, but as you can see from how I broke it down, it could be 3, possibly even 4 separate paragraphs that the student could have. And if it's a short essay, this could probably just be the whole essay. But again, they were trying to just reach too much in 1 paragraph, getting all their subpoints into 1 paragraph rather than breaking it up and making it a stronger set of paragraphs in their essay. So the key takeaway for this week is to make sure your paragraphs are fully developed without being bloated. You do not want bloated paragraphs, because I don't know if you got lost while I was reading, but I tended to get a little lost while I was reading. And if I didn't have the notes to myself of where the student needed to break up the paragraph, I probably would have been even more lost trying to read it and present it to y'all. So bloated paragraphs are like feeling bloated after you've eaten too much pizza on a Friday night. It doesn't feel good for your reader, and it's not going to feel good for you ultimately, because you're losing the strength of your points. All right. As always, if you're ready for more, visit us at a littlemoretruthllc.com, and we will see you next time.